Hi, Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your November 27th, 2023 full moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. It helps me out tremendously, so thank you so very much for doing so. If you're interested in a private reading, a private personalized meditation, or a healing, check out my website, daneharttarot.com. It is listed in the description box below, as are all the cards that I'm using. And if you're interested in entering to receive a free reading from me, put a turkey emoji in the comment box. A person will be chosen at random and announced in a completely separate video. It will be its own video, so do not be scammed by anybody contacting you in the comment box. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. This cleanse and meditation will be accompanied by a loud sound. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Oh, goodness. And as we almost knocked down the moon over here. Okay. All right, Capricorn. Let's see what the tarot has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. We have the World crowning the reading. We have the King of Swords reversed. We have the Empress. We have the Wheel of Fortune reversed. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. We have the Tower reversed, and we have the Lovers reversed. Okay, so I'm not surprised with all the reverse cards. Don't be angry at them at all. This moon is intense. This moon is at 4 degrees 51 minutes in Gemini, and it is a volatile moon. It is an intense moon. It is a fast moving moon. Now, Gemini is a mutable sign, so that means that it can see the sides of everything, right? So there's not going to be one clear way forward, or there's a calmness to this moon at all. Gemini is also very nonconformist, so that's also going to be an energy that moves forward. This moon is starting a 5-moon cycle, beginning with Gemini, this moon that we are in, and ending with Libra, bringing powerful endings and new beginnings. So being aware of that during this time, it's kind of like buckle up, we're in for an intense ride, is coming forward. We also have 6 planets in mutable signs. We have Neptune, Saturn, which is us, Capricorn, the Moon, Mercury, the Sun, and Mars. Now, with this, there's a sense here of like we're opening up to the world. There's a sense that we're looking at the different sides of things. We're looking at how do I want to move forward, where it is that I want to be, and we're expanding our horizons. We're expanding our world, our soul, and ourselves. So let's see what Spirit has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels. This one. This is purposeful reversed. We might be having, and we can very well be having, a hard time with really holding on to our purpose, seeing our purpose, feeling like our purpose is being fulfilled in this life. We're filled with purpose, but not only are we filled with purpose, our purpose is being filled. Because whenever our soul's reason for being on this earth is not being filled, we can feel lost, we can feel abyss, we can feel overwhelmed, we can feel, nihilistic, nothing means anything. Why even bother? Just be aware of this. Be aware that being purposeful is letting our soul's purpose come forward. And it can also be that what we are trying to create in our world here and now isn't filling up the cup, right? Isn't filling us up, isn't our purpose here on earth. So slowing down and connecting with ourselves is going to be very important. Now, Saturn, our ruling planet, is at 0 degrees, 56 minutes, Pisces, all right, in Pisces. And this is squaring the full moon, the sun, and Mars. So this energy is very much finding a balance between tradition and innovation. And that's what I see really here happening with us, with purposeful, with us, Capricorn. It's like, how do I find the balance between traditional me and innovative me moving me forward? Or spirit moving me forward is a better way to put it. So let's see what our chakra energy has to say. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, angels. This is abundance. So understanding that we are meant to live an abundant life is important. Does that mean that we're all meant to buy fancy, schmancy cars and live in McMansions and have the overabundance of existence that, our consumist capitalistic society wants us to have? No, it doesn't mean that at all. It means that at the root of us, this is our root chakra, we are meant to be abundant. So connecting with who we are, what we want, even if that's living a small, I say small, not in a mean way, but in a way where people would say, oh, you could fill that up with so much more stuff, right? You could do so much more. You're not pushing yourself to your full potential. But how do they know what your full potential is? If you are living your potential, if you are living in contentment, quiet peace within your life, you're better off than 99% of the world. So here, it's embracing our abundance. It's embracing our prosperity. It's looking at ourselves, and instead of seeing what we don't have, it's seeing what we do have. And that moves us then to our energy to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading. And that's the Two of Wands. Be mindful, certain doors are closing, and they're just going to be closed. And we're going to think, but that was the way I was supposed to move forward. And Spirit is going to say to us, no, it really isn't. So here with the Two of Wands, certain doors are closing, certain things aren't going to work out the way that we had envisioned them, and that's okay. So being aware of this during this time is going to be a very important thing for us. Being aware that when we think, oh my gosh, that's horrible, it's like, no, it's a new opportunity. Phrasing things differently within our mind, that is also going to be a very important thing for this Gemini full moon, because Gemini is the thinking mind. That's what Gemini energy is. Gemini energy is thinking. And remember, everything begins with a thought. Everything begins with a word. If you want to go deeper into the astrology of this moon, of everything, you can check out Pam Gregory's YouTube channel here on YouTube. It's linked in the description box below. She's absolutely brilliant. But this Gemini full moon, it all begins in the mind. It all begins in the mind. And our thoughts need to be anchored in our hearts. That is why Gemini is represented by the Lovers in the major arcana. We need to anchor our thoughts in our hearts so that this volatile, intense, fast-moving full moon is quieted by us being the warriors of our heart, the quiet heart warriors that move this earth forward. It's letting love guide us. And we have the Lovers reversed right here. This is also Gemini energy. We begin with the King of Swords reversed, Gemini energy, air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. All right. And we end with Gemini energy reversed. It's hard for us to step into our hearts. It doesn't mean we don't feel. It doesn't mean that we don't love. It doesn't mean that we, don't have emotions. People sometimes tend to think, oh, Capricorns, they're such, cold, unfeeling, logical, practical beings. That's not true. I mean, you're logical, practical beings, but you're not cold and unfeeling. So here, it's just understanding that this moon, it can be a lot for us. It's having us look at everything, and it's overwhelming us with information. We also have Mercury, the Sun, and Mars in Sagittarius, another really powerful thinking sign, right? And this leads us towards freedom, independence, and truth. That's what Sagittarius is all about: freedom, independence, and truth. But it's also very much, I'm right, you're wrong energy. So we need to step out of our ego of I'm right, you're wrong. This is the way you do things. This is how it should be. This is how we need to move forward. And also understand that there could be this pull towards spontaneity, and there can be this restlessness, almost a sense of like, I figured it all out. Now can't we go do something else? And Spirit is saying, hey, listen, again, we need to find that balance between tradition and innovation. We need to look at our egos and kind of like check ourselves before we wreck ourselves type of energy here as the world opens to us, as we're looking at things and we're realizing there is such a greater expanse out there than I had imagined, than I had thought, than I had, envisioned for myself. And now, as the world opens, we're saying to ourselves, where do I want to be? What inspires me? How do I want to move forward? We also have Mars squared Saturn. All right. Mars is go, 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 go energy, and Saturn is slow down, think things through. So just be in mind here, we can be in conflict between wanting to see it all, wanting to, climb every mountain, swim every sea type of energy, and wanting to slow down and saying, okay, what's important? Where do I need to be? What do I want for myself? That's going to be a very big thing during this time, because we can see that there's more, and we can want to take on more and more and more, or embrace more and more and more until we become overwhelmed. It brings us to the King of Swords. Again, that's air sign energy, Gemini, Libra, Aquarius. If you have air sign energy in your chart, if you have air sign energies in your life, you might find that you're a little bit at odds with them. You might also find that during this moon, they're kind of all over the place. They can be all over the place before, but now, wow, is it really moving them forward? The King of Swords can also be, all right, very logical, very practical, very much based in show me the facts. I don't want to hear the emotions. I don't want to see this or that. I just want the facts. I want the spreadsheets. I want the numbers done out. I want it to be just like this. And that energy can be, we can see it as a challenge that we can accomplish, Capricorn, but that energy can also be very stifling. It can be what I want to express. I want to, it's not just about the numbers. It's not just about the bottom line. And this energy here is like, I don't care. It is. It's kind of almost very computer-like. So just be aware of this during this time. The King of Swords can also be all over the place emotionally, all right, and not the most kind of stable energy to come into. Now, this is very interesting because Mercury is conjunct the galactic center. And when Mercury conjunct the galactic center, it brings forward divine intelligence and universal energy. So during this time, we can really see our minds opening. We can see this energy of divine intelligence guiding us. And even though we can really sit there and say, if it doesn't have a practical purpose, it doesn't have a place here, the Empress will be taking that in. And the Empress is that creative energy. So Neptune is squared Mercury. All right. And Mercury is very powerful during this time. The mind has no limits during this full moon. You can create, you can cultivate, you can write a fantastic novel, paint a beautiful painting. You can just create in ways that you hadn't imagined. You can take pictures and they'll be stunning. During this time, your creative energy, Capricorn, is astounding. And your way of taking on the mind, you can solve problems, you can look at things and see the different nuances and be like, oh, I can solve that. And oh, I can move forward this way. Wherever your creativity lies, it can be on fire during this time because the mind is just so in tune and so aligned. Now, with Neptune squaring Mercury, this brings powerful creativity and imagination. So utilize this. Utilize this. The Empress is birthing forward our creativity. It is bringing forward into the world the fire, the essence, and part of the purpose of why our soul is here. And that is absolutely astounding. This is going to be a time where we say, what am I nurturing? What am I bringing forward? Where do I need to be for me? What am I opening up the door towards? What do I want to cultivate and grow within my life? And we're not looking at it in a way that's kind of like passive or, oh, well, that doesn't really matter. We're looking at it in a very serious way. We're looking at things in a very serious way for ourselves during this time. And we're going to really be taking on that quote unquote mother energy of cultivating and nurturing. It doesn't have to be for a child at all. It can be. This can be a great time for creative life, for creating life, but this can also be a great time for creative life here on Earth. The creating, the cultivating, the seeing new ideas, the starting new projects. I mean, this full moon, if we can harness this energy and focus ourselves, can be absolutely unstoppable. The Wheel of Fortune, reversed. We feel like things need to change, and yet we've come to a little bit of a roadblock. And this makes sense because the sun is in a quintile with Uranus. Now, a quintile aspect isn't the most warm and fuzzy aspect at all. It is obsession and it is war. Now, and we can see that. We can see obsession and war if you turn on television, right? Or you listen to the radio or anything. You can see that if you get the news. Uranus is awakening. All right? Uranus brings awakening to a higher state of being. So during this time, we can feel like we're supposed to be breaking down barriers. We can feel like we're supposed to be entering into a new phase in a collective existence that doesn't seem to be happening. That's because we're looking at the world. It's very easy during this time for us to look at the world and take the world in and say, okay, I need to move forward with the world. But Spirit is also saying, what is the universe inside of you saying? What is the world for you saying? How are you cultivating your change? Because the Wheel of Fortune is saying we're entering into a new season, but there's some things that we have to work through. So it's like, not yet. It's like kind of like hurry up and wait sort of energy here with the Wheel of Fortune. The Tower. So while we're hurrying up and waiting, we're also seeing ourselves being able to rebuild our world. The Tower is saying, hey, 16 years ago, when you were 16, not 16 years ago when you were 16 years ago, or when you were 16, or 16 months ago, or 16 days ago, somewhere around the number 16, a tremendous change happened. It rocked your world. It was a Tower time. It changed your molecular makeup. It changed the way your soul reacts to things. During this time, your mind was blown, right? Your world changed, and it was a big deal. It was a big deal. And now with the Tower, what we're going to see with the Tower reversed is we're going to see we're building again. We're building after the rubble. We're building after the chaos, the pain, the hurt, the disappointment. And we're seeing ourselves come forward more and more and more into where we need to be in our lives. We've awakened. And as we've awakened, we're knowing ourselves more. The Tower doesn't have to be seen by anybody else as a big deal time, but it is for us. And the only person who matters in a tarot card reading is you. All right? This is all about you. So here with the Tower, things have changed. Things have taken a cosmic shift. You are changing personally and powerfully, but you're entering into a time of rebuilding, and you're entering into a time of deeper knowledge. You have been changed. There is no going back. All right? And that can be hard at times because we could say, but it was better over there. But Spirit is saying, you have changed as a person. There is no going back to the way things once were, once upon a time. But there is moving forward, and things can be better. It brings us then to the Lovers reverse. Now, the Lovers reverse has us really in tune with lust energy. So just be aware of this. Also be aware that there's another quintile between Venus in Libra and Jupiter in Taurus. Now, Venus rules both. There we go. Venus rules both Libra and Taurus. So this can bring changes in relationship, and this can bring changes in finances. Don't go after short-term satisfaction. That will be super easy. It's like low-hanging fruit. It's what you love. It's what you love that's going to move you forward. But it's what you love that's going to pose one of the biggest challenges during this time. So acknowledging this and understanding this is going to be an important thing. The Lovers reverse is also us having a hard time with the duality of everything during this time, right? We can see both sides of the story. We can see, the heartbreak in things. We can see all of this. And what this Gemini energy brings forward is the sense of there's duality in me, and I need to see it. I need to understand it. I need to own it, and I need to move forward from it. The Lovers are guiding us towards what we love. When they're reversed, it's saying here, hey, don't be tricked by what you lust after. What you lust after, it could be fame and fortune and all those things. I mean, fortune is always good, right? But there's a point where it gets to be too much, or there's a point where it can really shape you or cultivate you in a way that just isn't right for your soul. It's not your purpose here on this earth. So just be mindful about this during this time. And be mindful with this moon that even though it brings so much of what we love forward, it can also bring so much of what we lust after forward. Kind of that, again, that instant gratification. It's kind of like eating a whole cake. Oh my gosh, it's delicious, but my stomach hurts now, type of thing. So let's see what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels and spirit guides, angels and spirit guides. All right, so this is interesting. I know we have a lot of reverse cards here, and again, that is because this is an intense and volatile moon, and reverse cards aren't a bad thing. They just tell another side of a story. So that's never bad. It's always interesting. It's always interesting to dive deeper. So what we have here is working through your fears and then focus reversed. We can find it hard as the world opens or as we start to see more and more things come forward to be able to work from our fears and be able to focus on the opening of our third eye, the opening of our deeper insight, our deeper knowledge, our deeper understanding, and the transformation of ourselves. So this can be a time where we start to see ourselves afraid, like opportunities start to come to us and we start to self-sabotage. We start to think, oh no, I can't do this. Working through our fears means saying yes. Sometimes we would rather say no and hide under the covers. We're also going to have this intuitive nature to us during this time. There is a sense of an awakening of the third eye. There is a power in the awakening of the third eye, of seeing things more deeply, seeing things more self-assuredly. There is also a sense of a sixth sense coming forward. So empathically, psychically, emotionally, you can move forward with your intuition quite beautifully. But there is also a sense of fear there with that. If I fully embrace who I am, where will that take me? Or if I fully embrace who I am and I get rejected, then they're rejecting the full me. So if you want to meditate on opening up your third eye, on seeing yourself move forward, of embracing your power and your potential, that would be amazing during this time. Realization. You're realizing that you're the key. You really are. You really are here, Capricorn. And it says, don't let your past hold you back, but you are. So that's reversed. Don't let your past hold you back is reversed. And there's a sense here of I'm realizing that I'm the key. I'm realizing that I'm moving forward. Don't let your past hold you back. And it's like, oh, but it is. I'm afraid. I'm overwhelmed. I messed up this way before. And so Spirit is saying here, don't let your past hold you back. It will be so easy for us to say, well, it happened once upon a time, so it's going to happen now. Do not be like Marley in A Christmas Carol, who wears his chains and who carries them around for all eternity. Be like Scrooge. Be like Scrooge, who got that second chance, who was reborn in his power and in his glory to be joyous. So let yourself be joyous and let that be the key to you walking into the new season of your life. That new sense. It doesn't all have to be logic and rules. It can be expression and beauty. It brings us then to abundance. Again, we were meant to be abundant. We have abundance here at our root chakra coming forward. It says emotions are running high. That's reversed. So emotions aren't running high. There's a sense of a practicality to us. We can kind of wear that a little bit too well here, Capricorn. So just be mindful about this. But we're moving towards abundance. We're moving towards success. We're moving towards prosperity. We're opening up the doors in ways that we hadn't imagined for ourselves. But we need to be discerning. We are also bringing forward creative energy. Part of our abundance during this time is going to be our creativity. It's going to be the way that we can weave things, that we can, find the common thread, weave it all together, move ourselves forward in our prosperity, in our success, in our bounty, in our knowledge of ourselves. It brings us to that discernment. Now, discerning energy reverse can mean that we let all the energy in. So it affects us. We do not have clear boundaries or barriers, and we need to have them. Now, a win-win outcome is forecast as we have the Wheel of Fortune reverse. So the Wheel of Fortune reverse is like that hurry up and wait energy. We're not being discerning of the energy that we are taking in. And yet, as the seasons change, as our season changes personally, we're going to see that things balance themselves out, that a win-win outcome is forecast, and that it wasn't as intense or as dire as we once thought it was. Now, acceptance is reversed. We can be having a little bit of a difficult time accepting the duality of ourselves, accepting the Gemini energy, okay, accepting the different ways of looking at things. And Spirit is just saying here, be mindful of this, that the kind of two ways of looking at everything can really throw us off our path. We want to find the right way forward, or we want to say, this is right, that is wrong. And everything is just a little bit more nuanced. Everything is a little bit more intense during this time. With the Tower time as well, we can also be finding it hard to find acceptance in what has irrevocably changed. It doesn't have to be negatively irrevocably changed. Tower times can be getting married, right? Because it's difficult. It's difficult navigating that. It's a joyous time, but it can change us deeply, and it does change us deeply. So just having this acceptance for ourselves, this kindness for ourselves, showing ourselves grace, showing ourselves beauty is going to be really, really, really important. You and your loved ones are safe is also reversed. There's also a bit of apprehension here. And also there's that fear of acceptance, because we're not sure that with all the changes that we have been through, that everybody that we love, you and your loved ones are safe. We're not sure about that. And Spirit is saying here, can we accept the unknown? Can we accept that we can't prepare for all the outcomes that will happen in this world? But we can live in the moment of now and live in joy and live in beauty, live in grace. Show yourself grace. It moves us then to growth. Growth, and the energy is gaining momentum. And that is going to be really important as we move from lust to love. As we say, okay, not what I'm lusting after, but what I love is leading me forward. How am I growing? Okay, how am I growing, and how am I stepping into me? The energy is gaining momentum. I am gaining momentum. I'm going after what I want and what I need and what I see as right for me. And that is growth. And that is power. And there is power within me. There is power within you, Capricorn. Our subconscious Luna message, not Luna message, our subconscious spirit message is tranquility. Remember, tranquility matters. Remember, peace matters. When things get crazy, we tend to put to the side our spiritual selves first and foremost. It's like, oh, that thing that brings me peace, that thing that calms me down, that thing that helps me to, feel centered within me, that's gone. I just have to work harder. I just have to be more stressed. Go after, go after, go after. Following tranquility, subconsciously saying, is this bringing me peace, is going to be amazingly important for us. It brings us then to our subconscious chakra message, which is psychic development, which Spirit was talking about before. Here, with the world opening to us, here with us seeing, even with the sense of creativity and building forward, your psychic self is moving forward. This is the third eye chakra. Your psychic self is moving you forward. There's a fear to this. Subconsciously, the psychic development is happening. We're seeing it, we're feeling it. And on a conscious level, we're like, I'm not sure I can do this. But this is a natural part of who we are. So open to it. Open to the endless possibilities that is us here on this earth. Open to your heart, your soul, yourself. And that is going to be astoundingly important. And that is astoundingly important. But you're developing psychically. And subconsciously, you know this. Our subconscious energy to be mindful of is the Seven of Cups reversed. We need to be mindful that we can drown in our dreams. Okay, and it's not that we can have a dream of drowning. It's that our dreams during this time subconsciously can be more real than our reality. And if we're not hitting our dreams exactly the way that we had dreamt them, we think, oh my gosh, I'm a failure. And Spirit's like, no, you're not a failure. But Spirit has a vocabulary far greater and vaster than ours will ever be. So our dreams can be ruling us, because it has to be just this way that I dreamt it when I was 15 years old or 16 years old, most likely. All right. And instead of saying, you know what, that was set up like a 16-year-old, you wouldn't say to a 4-year-old, you dreamt of being, a dinosaur that could breathe fire. And now that's what you have to be for the rest of your life. If you don't achieve that, you've obviously failed at being a human. You say, oh no, you really can't be a dinosaur that breathes fire. You can't physically do that. Here, there are some things when we have a dream put in us, it's put in us to put us on a path to what we are physically able to do. Spiritually, called to do in this world. But because it doesn't fit our limited vocabulary that we have here as humans, we think, oh no, I couldn't possibly do this. Spirit is saying here, open up the door. Open up the door. It's brilliant. Open up the door. Don't get stuck. We can have a tendency, especially with this moon, with this mind so powerful, to get stuck. It has to be this way. It has to be that way. It's like, no, endless possibilities. Remember, endless possibilities. Our subconscious tarot message is the Chariot reverse. This is Cancer energy, a time frame of June 21st to July 22nd. Emotions can be running high, right? Even though we have like emotions weren't running high here, but subconsciously we can feel all over the place. The mutability of this moon can be quite intense for us. So acknowledging that here, Capricorn, is very important. If we have Cancer energy in our chart, also Cancer is our sister sign. So this can bring out the best or the worst in us. But if we have Cancer energy in our chart, if we have Cancers in our life, this can be an energy that it's like we just feel overwhelmed by it, right? A part of our personality or a person, it's like, oh my gosh, but they're just overwhelming. So acknowledging this is going to be very important. Acknowledging what overwhelms us emotionally. And this can be a time where we sit there and say, you know what? I need to talk to somebody like a therapist, or I need to go to the doctor, or I need to, do this or do that, or journal or exercise or whatever it is to bring things into focus, right? To help calm and center things. That is going to be so important for us. That can be such a game changer. So here with the Chariot, we can feel all over the place. We can feel like somebody else has the reins until we rein ourselves in and say, okay, what do I need? What do I need? And how do I need to move forward for me? It brings us then to our subconscious Luna message, which begins with believe in the impossible, okay? Which is also a bit of a feat for, our grounded self, right? The grounded Capricorn is going to be, well, this is what's sensible. This is what's practical. All earth sign energies have that tendency. This is what's grounded. This is what's practical. This is how we need to move forward. Negative air sign energy, too, can play on that. So here, to believe in the impossible is to say, it doesn't always have to be so practical. But then we have to trust in that. And that's where we find a bit of difficulty. It's like, but then I have to trust it. I have to trust it and I have to open up the door. It doesn't always have to be so practical. It doesn't always have to be so staunch, so carefully curated, so a certain way. You know what I'm saying? So here, it's trusting to believe in the impossible. That believing in impossible dreams is a beautiful thing to do, because it is. It is. Spirit is like shouting, it is. It's kind of funny. All right, Capricorn. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I am sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy, as we embrace the power, intensity, and beauty of this time and of ourselves. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Capricorn. May blessings and prosperity always be with you. I love you all. God bless, and have a blessed moon. Bye.